Welcome to Invest. We talk about investing, finance, and professional development. As record time of 9:15 a.m. on Eastern Time on March 7th on Tuesday. Hope you guys have a good week so far, and also happy Tuesday. Ethereum got $1,561, about 0.26% so far. On the overall crypto market and the equity market, as of this morning right now, we are collectively leaning more towards a downside of the spectrum ahead of the Jerome Powell speech that's expected to be happening around 1 p.m. on the Eastern Time later today. And currently, what's really going on is just we are consolidating at the respective level, right, at the 1550. And you can see that clearly 1550 is a relatively substantive level that we were forming an upward or something that you call ascending wedge that you see clearly that we have performed from basically January 14th all the way to sometimes in beginning of February. And as you could see that as we hit that apex of this red candle, it broke, right? And if you look back into our I'll say 5-12 videos ago, you could see that this was something that we've been talking about. An upward wedge, an ascending wedge is typically a pattern indicating that a breakdown will be happening. As you can see that as it broke down, it got consolidated at the respective level that we were at before, at 1550, and then reverse up. And now you could see clearly, if you really stretch this out on a weekly perspective, we are forming something that we call the cup and handle. So right now we have this cup, which is very clear, right? You have this rim on the red line and the green line matching with the parallel, and now we are at the level that we should be. But is this enough, right? With respect to 1550, should we see further sell off to get to more of an optimal level of like 1450? I would say so, based on the technicals, right? You can see that the weekly is a little bit extended. However, on the daily, you can see that the daily is relatively flat, right? With the 44 out of 70. And also, we are on the opposite side of the spectrum. So what that means is that short-term wise, we're going to see some, healthy pump. Ideally going back to the next level up of 1650, even higher to the level that we were at before, 1700. But that's about it, and then reverse back down because the weekly is going to mute it. And let's take a look at the news front as well before we kind of dive further in. So you can see that with respect to the overall market on the stock front, we are muted, not really doing much. We are just inching a little bit higher. The 10-year yield is also kind of not really moving much. And maybe let's take a look at what the CNBC is writing about with respect to the comments that's coming out later today. So you could see that it's on the deck. Tuesday and Wednesday, the congressional testimony from Fed's Chair Powell will give the remark to see how he sees the U.S. economy and what he expects the interest rates to go up from here. In addition to that, there might be some testimony around the China and the U.S. relationships, the COVID situation with respect to the Russian war that we're still kind of in the mix of. Any foreshadow with respect to the CPI report that's happening so today is the 7th, so 1 week exactly from now, and a week plus 1 day. So 8 days from now on the 15th will be the FOMC meeting. So we'll see how that goes, right? But across the spectrum right now is relatively muted. And take a look at yesterday was an open trading day. So let's see what ARK Invest and BlackRock were doing yesterday. So it seems like BlackRock, or ARK Invest firstly, was more of a neutral day, not really up or down. They were not that active yesterday, but they did sell some and also buy some. But I would say across the spectrum is relatively neutral. And then on the BlackRock side of the equation, you can see that it's a little bit more of a buy day yesterday in comparisons. Yesterday was a red day because of as you can understand, people are foreshadowing a negative depictions from Jerome Powell, which I wouldn't be surprised if he did say something like that. But ultimately, no one has the script. No one has the verbiage of what he's going to say. I guess like my logics behind what he's going to ideally be saying would be, again, just more diplomatic speech. Speaking of, on a topic of like, we have to see how it goes. We don't know how, are we in a recession? I would say, hypothetically, and logically, we are already in a recession. But with respect to interest rates, are we gonna see it going higher or lower? But if you look at that in the last 6 months, you see kind of like a bell shape, right? You went from 25 to 50 to 75 basis point for like 3 times, went down to 50, 25. So the 25 basis point was the last one. So it does show like a bell curve. And also, we have already seen a lot of tech companies have been trying to follow through by not going bankrupt, by laying off people, try to stay tight, right? Revise their 2024, 2023 planning, things like that. So the worst might have happened already, but we'll see how it goes, right? Based on what he says today, because if he shows some alarming verbiage, let's say like, be prepared for worse, anything like that, or maybe even some black swan news that we might not know about. As you understand, like their the Adani Group situation is still kind of lingering on. The debacle of FTX. Obviously we know that SBF is going to be in some serious trouble going forward. But with respect to the corporate repercussion, I just don't know much about like what's the next step from there. So we'll see how it goes today, and I think we will get more clearance as we approach closer to around noontime, or technically 9 a.m. on the Pacific time for you guys that are on the West Coast. Okay, so let's maybe take a look at the equity side as well, just before we hop off, right? So you can see that the SPY has opened up a little bit higher. The reason we did that is because 392 was a bounce for the right reason, because it's a substantive level that you have matched with previous level that we have consolidated at basically November all the way till December 14 or 15. 15 is my mom's and my dad's and my sister's birthday. Not that has anything to do with it. And with respect to the daily, you can see that it's already kind of reversing up. We bounced clearly at 53 out of 70. The weekly right now, it is more muted. I will say it's the complete opposite. We are forming this reverse head and shoulder pattern. So it is bullish, but you need to kind of, consolidate and, continue to form the secondary shoulder that needs to be formed at the moment, right? And then last but not least, on the monthly, it is looking like we are gliding and comfortably consolidating at the right pattern. So reversals should be happening sometimes in Q2 again, right? Q3 would be the right transition, and I think by then we'll understand a lot more how are we doing on domestic but also on a global economical front. Okay, so appreciate you for joining me today, and let me know how it goes. I'm home today just to catch up on all the stuff that I've been doing. It's been a lot of travel, so it's in need of some digestion, and also like trying to get things done in the meantime. But appreciate you. Have a good day and take it easy. Bye.